Hello, this is Pastor Matthew Woods from Grace Lutheran Church in New Albany, Indiana, and this is the weekly devotion for October 28, 2024. As we get started today, I want to refer back to an article that I saw, actually a devotion from Lutheran Church Charities in August 27th, 2024 this year. And it's a devotion I get regularly, and I really like this one. It was titled, A Time to Be Careful. The subtitle was 1 Corinthians 10:12, and it says, so if you think you're standing firm, be careful that you do not fall. Now, the author argues that the most dangerous period in our life is when we let our guard down. This is the time to watch for overconfidence, dulled reactions, and a faulty judgment. This is the time we watch for those things. Now, I really like Tim Hetzner's observation of King David in this regard in 2 Samuel chapter 11, verses 2 through 4. And I feel so strongly about it, I want to share it with you today. The article says, remember King David's story? In the spring of the year, at the time the kings go out to battle, David remained in Jerusalem. Then it happened. He saw a woman bathing. Then David sent messengers and took her for himself. Pay particular attention, by the way, to the phrase, then it happened, right? David chose to stay home rather than to go to battle, he says. It's a great observation. Who knows why? Maybe it was his impressive record of success. It made him soft, or got careless, or he got arrogant. Who knows? It was only a brief affair, right? But it changed everything. His peace vanished, his character was ruined, and his family life was destroyed. Don't fall prey to the perils of past victories, he says. Remember your halt sign. When you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, you're in a vulnerable place and need to be extra careful. Resting on your laurels is synonymous with flirting with disaster. Whoa, those are great observations. And it's not just David. When you look at it, it was the Israelites in general who couldn't seem to handle God's blessings. In the wilderness, they're set free from the Egyptians. They complained about everything. They blamed Moses for all their problems, and they fell to idolatry anyway. How often have we heard Christian youth who go off to college only to let themselves go? They let their guard down, buying into a bombardment of false teachings that surrounds them in a lifestyle that certainly isn't something mom and dad taught them. And how often have good marriages fallen apart to impulsive decision makings, not so unlike David's? And how many lottery winners have gone broke faster than people that have to pinch the pennies? And how quick are believers to believe that because their job is good and they have a nice house and steady income, a great family, comfortable life, success, a life that is good, may even surprise themselves at how fast they can stumble, seemingly sabotaging themselves in the process. How fast it can happen. Truth is, modern Christians are not so different from David. And so there's a cautionary tale in all of this for us. We justify too much distance from the Lord when things are good. We say, God is blessing us. Things are good. I've got it good. My life must be blessed. But that's exactly when we seem to drift away from it. This happens for a mountain of reasons, each uniquely built around our individual lifestyles. Life got real complicated for David after he sinned. Much damage was done to his family and to the kingdom itself. And that's the thing. When we fall to sin, when we let our guard down and bad things happen, it's usually the people we love the closest to us that pay the biggest price. The same David who wrote Psalm 22 and Psalm 23 somehow in the calm evening at his home allowed himself to become dull in the word, dull in his faith, and not think about God but himself first. Maybe we too have become a victim of too much good, too much success, if you will. Look at how big your TVs are getting, for matter. Look at how critical the colors on your walls in your house have become, how elaborate your vacations may be. Think of how how much entertainment do we really need? How many things do our kids have to be involved with, really? We are not as carefully planned or scheduled in our Jesus stuff, it seems, the word and worship, perhaps as we should be. And that makes us vulnerable. Remember the rich farmer in Luke 12? He had a great crop. He was really well off already and he had a great crop. And so all of his wealth, with all of this good that he has, God blesses him and he thinks to himself, what am I going to do with all this good stuff? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it for myself. I'm going to build bigger barns. And then what does he say? I'm going to take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry. And it turns out that this was the day that he had no idea was his last day. So what's the point of it all, right? But notice when he experienced an abundance of blessing, he becomes very selfish. That's the point. Not a single thought was given to generosity or to thanksgiving for the Lord. Success, it seems, in a lot of cases, because of our sin, makes us really selfish. And I agree that being hungry, angry, lonely, and tired are spiritually vulnerable places too, but not as dangerous as success, as thinking things are in a good place. These four things can make one desperate and stupid, but not as much as where David was, or where we may be in the midst of so many blessings that God gives us. So we got to be careful that we're not letting our guard down and putting too much stock in how good things may be or not be. What's more, we see all of this playing out in a grand scale in our culture. We see it, we talk about it. Things have been good for us for a long time in the United States. Safe, comfortable, wealthy. Complacency and entitlement thinking have now entrenched itself. Today we fight over pronouns and bathrooms. We have lawsuits over cakes. We can't even define what a woman is. Aborting a baby has become a reproductive right. And $35 trillion in debt doesn't seem like a big deal. Doesn't seem to have anybody worried anymore. And all these things, the biggest concern spoken about is the cost of groceries. What are we thinking? Welcome to ancient Israel, I guess, in the days of Jeremiah, where they thought things were good, but God was trying to wake them up. If we think we're standing firm in the Lord, be careful so that you don't fall and take others with you. Are you really where you should be spiritually? If not, why not? And if you are, what makes you think that you are? A genuine love of Jesus, combined with knowing the Word of God, combined with living out that Word, makes life good even if we are hungry, angry, or lonely, or tired. The combination of love in Jesus, knowing the Word of God, practicing the Word of God, is truly how we stand firm, even when the ground beneath us becomes unstable. A holy perspective like this is what we need more of. We can certainly use it. Now is not a time to sit in a castle, eyeballing our neighbor, but a time to be where we should be, in the battlefield of faith, especially in this time and day. And so may the Lord bless us to be on our guard, to be strong in the Lord, and to be where we should be spiritually. And may the Lord bless us this week to do that very thing. And so, the peace of the Lord be with you. Thanks for joining me, and I appreciate your time. And we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.